Now UART in LPC2148 microcontroller is pretty much similar to UART communication in 8051 microcontroller that we already discussed. UART in 8051 microcontroller consists of three important parts: how to initialize UART, how to transmit data, and third thing, how to receive data. So these are the three things that we discussed in 8051 microcontrollers UART communication. The same thing is what we are going to discuss for this particular microcontroller also. How do we initialize UART? Initializing UART means you are going to set the word length of UART data, whether you are using 8-bit UART or 9-bit UART, so on and so forth. The second important thing that you wanted to do in UART communication initialization is how to set the baud rate. What is the speed at which you want the serial communication to work? So these are the two important things that we did in initializing the UART. And then transmitting the data is where the user puts the information into the serial buffer, where it is serially clocked out. And you know the completion of transmission by using transmit interrupt flag. In reception, the data will come from the user, and the received information is available in the serial buffer, and the RI flag is used for an indication that the data is available in the serial buffer, so with which we can retrieve the data from serial buffer. So these are the three important things that we discussed in 8051 microcontrollers UART communication. The same principle is what we are going to see here also. Only thing is some minor differences and changes in the name of the SFR. Apart from that, the concept is still the same. So in this class, we are going to see how to initialize UART as in 8051 microcontroller, how to set 8-bit word length of the data, and how to set the baud rate. Second thing, how to transmit data, and the third thing, how to receive data. These are the three things that we are going to see. Interestingly, in LPC2148, you have two UARTs, UART 0 and UART 1. Both of them are exactly same. So once you know how to control UART 0, you can very easily do the same thing for UART 1. So we are confining our discussion to UART 0 in this particular class, which is exactly similar to UART 1. So you have two parallel UARTs available in LPC2148. So that is something that you have to understand. So the first thing is UART in LPC2148 has two identical UARTs, UART 0 and UART 1. Both of them are full duplex. Full duplex means they can simultaneously transmit as well as receive data in the same time. Full duplex means the microcontroller can transmit and receive data in the same time. That is full duplex. Both UART 0 and UART 1 are full duplex UARTs. What we are going to see in this particular class is UART 0. It is exactly same as UART 1. So this is something that we discussed in the previous class. This is my oscillator. The oscillator is working at 12 MHz in our application. So we use a PLL that multiplied it by a factor of 5, and we divided by a factor of 2, and we ended up in getting a CPU clock of 60 MHz. Okay, so in this clock scheme, 60 MHz is what you get here at the output of your PLL. This is my oscillator, which is at 12 MHz. This PLL, one clock or the CPU clock is going to the CPU. The other one is coming to the VLSI peripheral bus divider. This VLSI peripheral bus divider job is to divide the 60 MHz clock into a slower clock, namely the peripheral clock or P clock. But we are setting the VLSI peripheral bus divider as 0, 1. Therefore, your P clock frequency is same as the C clock frequency. This is equal to 60 megahertz. So this we have already seen in the previous class. So init PLL is my first function that I call. So if I call this function will make sure that my peripheral clock frequency is 60 megahertz. So that is the first thing. Somebody joined late? No. So that is something that we discussed in the previous class. Second thing, what are the pins involved in the UART communication? For UART 0, pin number 19 and 21. So always pin number starts from 1 from the left side. In the end at 16 here, it starts from 17, it's end at 32. It again starts from 33, end at 48. It starts from 49 and end at 64. So it is a 64 pin IC. For UART 0, we need one transmit pin and one receive pin. The transmit pin is pin number 19. So this is my transmit pin. The receive pin is pin number 21. So this is my 21st pin. This is my receive pin. This is for UART 0. For UART 1, okay, the transmit data pin TXT is pin number 33. The receive data pin RXT is pin number 34. 33 is here, 34 is here. So these two pins are meant for UART 1. In terms of parallel port, the transmit data pin of UART 0 is port 0.0. The receive data of LPC2148 UART 0 is port 0.1. Pin number 19, but port 0.0. Pin number 21, port 0.1. So it is 0th pin of port 0, first pin of port 0. For UART 1, the transmit data or TXT is essentially port 0.8. The receive data is port 0.9. What do you mean by port 0.8, port 0.9, port 0.0, 0.1 means each pin in LPC2148 is capable of performing multiple functions. Just like in 8051, the transmit data and the receive data pins are port 3.0 and 3.1. In normal case, you can use those pins as port 3 pins as general purpose parallel port pins. Additionally, you can also use those pins as transmit and receive data, which means in 8051, the same pin performed dual function. You can use the same pin for parallel port operation, which means you can connect any peripheral device to it. At the same time, you can also use the same pin for transmitting and receiving data via UART. Both of them are possible. In the similar manner, in LPC2148, each pin is capable of performing up to 4 functions. Not 2 functions, up to 4 functions. Let us say you take this particular pin, pin 33. Pin 33, if you take, I'll just write it in a bigger form so that you can understand. Port 0.8 is the default function, followed by TXT1 is the first special function. Pulse width modulation 4 is the second special function. Analog to digital converter 1, channel 1, that is the third special function. These are the 4 functions that the same pin can do. Port 0.8 is the default function, which means if you don't specify anything, this is the function that that particular pin will do always, unless otherwise you change the functionality of the pin. So that is the reason why we haven't done anything in order to use that particular pin as a GPIO. For GPIO, the default functionality is GPIO for all the pins. So if you are planning to use a particular pin as a GPIO pin, you need not have to do anything. But if you are planning to use the same pin for some other function, let us say in this case, we are planning to use these pins as UART pins, then probably you have to tell the microcontroller what exact operation that you are planning to do with that particular pin, because the default function is the GPIO function. So if you are planning to perform any other function other than GPIO function, you have to definitely tell the microcontroller that I am planning to use some other special function for that pin, for that particular pin. I am no longer using the default function. Only in that case the microcontroller will do that specific function. Otherwise it won't. That is the difference between 8051 and LPC 2148. In 8051, if you are using UART communication, the moment you start the channel, automatically it uses port 3.0 and 3.1 for UART operation. You don't have to explicitly tell the microcontroller that you are using those two pins for UART. Whereas in LPC 2148, you have to explicitly tell the microcontroller if you are using a functionality other than GPIO, what functionality you are planning to use, because a single pin in LPC 2148 can perform a maximum of 4 functions, wherein the default function is the GPIO function. In that case, you need not have to tell anything. If you are using pin 33 as port 0.8, you need not have to tell anything because that is a default function. But if you are using the same pin 33 as transmit data for UART1 or pulse width modulation channel 4, or the same pin as ADC analog to digital converter 1 with channel 1, in that case you have to tell the microcontroller what exact operation that you are planning to do with that particular pin. In that case, we call this as default function. This is called first special function. This is called second special function. This is called third special function. So a pin can maximum perform 4 functions in LPC 2148. So this concept you have to clearly understand. Okay, so what are the SFRs involved in UART communication for LPC 2148? First one is pin select SFR. Pin select SFR is used to tell the microcontroller which exact functionality you are planning to use for a specific pin that we discussed just now. I am planning to use port 0 and port 1, port 0.0 and 0.1 pins of LPC 2148 as transmit and receive, not the general purpose GPIO. So in that case, you have to tell the microcontroller that I am planning to use those 2 pins, port 0.0 and 0.1 as transmit pin and receive pin. So which SFR is used for that? Pin select SFR. Pin select SFR is used to tell the microcontroller which exact function of a particular pin you are planning to use. So that is the first job. In LPC, in 8051, that is default, it will automatically change the functionality. In LPC 2148, you have to explicitly tell. The second special function register is U0 stands for UART0. For UART1, you have to put U1. That's all. The second function is called line control register, LCR. Line control register, I will just write it for your understanding, is something similar to your SCON SFR of your 8051. Are you able to understand? So SCON SFR is used to set the mode of serial communication. Just like that, you set the mode of LPC 2148 communication by setting UART0 line control register. So this is for your understanding. Next one, UART0 line status register. LSR means line status register. Line status register has 2 bits. What are the 2 bits that are important for us? If I put the data into the serial buffer, when the data is successfully transmitted out, I should know whether the data that I have put into the serial buffer is successfully transmitted or not. In other words, the transmit interrupt flag in 8051. Similarly, I should also have another flag called receive interrupt flag. Whenever somebody else is putting a data, I should know whether that particular data is received successfully or not. So similarly, we have two flags available in the status register, one for telling you the transmit is complete, the other one telling you the receive is complete. So those two flags we make use of for controlling transmission and reception. So this is exclusively available in the status register. The next one is called baud rate setting SFRs, DLM and DLL. DLM stands for divisor latch most significant bit MSB. DLL stands for divisor latch LSB, least significant bit LSB. So divisor latch MSB, divisor latch LSB. These two fellows are 8-bit SFRs. They are used for baud rate generation. So you will see how to generate baud rate in LPC 2148. It is very easy. And then you have two specific SFRs. One is called transmit holding register. Transmit holding register. The other one is called receive buffer register. Transmit holding register is used during transmission. So whenever you are transmitting data, so if I am the user, I will put the data into transmit holding register. UART0 transmit holding register. So the microcontroller will transmit the data out. When somebody else is giving the data, that data will come and sit into UART0 receive buffer register that I will receive. So in 8051, we use a single register called SBUF, serial buffer. So the same register is used for both transmission as well as reception. Here we are using one exclusive register for transmission and one exclusive register for reception. So that is one difference. So what are the important SFRs? How do I configure the pins for serial communication? That is pin select. How do I make LPC 2148 serial communication into 8-bit UART and configure that? Line control register. How do I know whether the transmit is complete and receive is accomplished? Status register, line status register. Device latcher MSB, device latch LSB, both of them are used for baud rate generation. One exclusive register for transmitting data, transmit holding register. One exclusive register for receiving data, receive buffer register. So even though the names of the SFRs are different, functionally they are exactly similar to 8051. We will see them one by one. All of you are with me so far? Okay. Let us start with the first SFR, namely pin select SFR. You should understand some basics of using a pin select SFR. What is pin select means? Every pin in LPC 2148 has multiple functions. Very rarely you have pins that has unique function. A pin can have a maximum of 4 functions. Just now we discussed what are they. I told one particular pin, namely pin 33. Pin 33 performed 4 important functions. What are they? Port 0.8, transmit data 1, and then pulse width modulation 4, and then ADC 1.1. So these are the 4 functions that it does. What is the default function? This is the default function. We have 3 more functions here. This is called first special function. This is called second special function. This is called third special function. Unless you don't specify anything, the microcontroller will do the default function. If you are planning to use any other function other than the default function, you have to tell the microcontroller which special function you are planning to use, whether you are using first special function or second special function or third special function. So since you are having 4 functions, we need 2 bits for specifying them. 0, 0 means the default special function. 0, 1 means first special function. 1, 0 means second special function. 1, 1 means third special function. Since there are 4 functions, you need 2 bits for specifying completely which exact special function it has to perform. If you need 2 bits for 1 pin, every pin take 2 bits. In general, how many pins we have? Port 0 has 32 bits. Theoretically, practically it has only 29, but for theoretical discussion, it has port 0.0 to 0.31. This is theoretical discussion, so it has 32 bits. Port 1 has 16 bits. Port 1.16 to port 1.31. So totally 32 plus 16, theoretically you have 48 pins, out of which 3 pins are not available, but theoretically we have 48 pins. If each pin require 2 bits for specifying the exact functionality, because there are 4 functionality, each pin can do 4 functions, means you need 2 bits for specifying the exact function of a single pin. So if one pin require 2 bits for specifying the function, sorry, I forgot to connect the power supply. If each pin takes 2 bits for defining its functionality, so our totally 48 pins means 48 into 2, totally we need 96 bits. 96 bits you need. Why you need 96 bits? To specify the functionality of 48 pins. If each pin take 2 bits, totally we require 96 bits to specify the functionality of each pin in LPC 2148. This 96 bits is given as 3 SFRs. This 96 bits is given as 3 SFRs. What are the 3 SFRs? Pin select 0, pin select 1, and pin select 2. Each SFR gives you 32 bits. So 32, 64, 96. Each gives you 32, 32, 32. Totally you end up in getting 96 bits. What is the job of pin select 0? Pin select 0 defines the functionality of pins from 0.0 to 0.15. Pin select 0 has 32 bits. You require 2 bits for pin. 2 bits for one pin. Which means 32 by 2, 16 pins it can define, which is port 0.0 to 0.15. So the functionality of port 0.0 to 0.15 Those 16 pins are defined by pin select 0. Pin select 1, it deals from port 0.16 to 0.31. The rest of the 16 bit pins of port 0. Pin select 2, it deals the 16 pins of port 1. P1.16 to P1.31. So pin select 0, first 16 pins of port 0. Pin select 1, the top 16 bits of port 0. Pin select 2, the top 16 bits of port 1, because the bottom 16 bits are not available. So totally we have 96 bits. 96 bits of the complete parallel port 2 define the functionality of 48 pins for the parallel port. That is theoretical. 3 pins are not available. This will give you clear definition of how to use pin select. We use 3 pin select registers: pin select 0, pin select 1, pin select 2. What is a pin select SFR? Pin select SFR is used to define the functionality of a pin. Functionality of a pin. Each pin can perform 4 functions. Each pin can perform a maximum of 4 functions. To define that 4 functions, you need 2 bits. So port 0 you have 32 bits, port 1 you have 16 bits, totally you have 48 pins. So if each pin take 2 bits, 48 into 2, you require 96 bits. Out of this 96 bits, pin select will contribute for 32, pin select 1 will contribute for 32, pin select 2 will contribute for 32, totally 96. Which exact pins that these fellows deal with? Pin select 0 deal with port 0.0 to port 0.15. Pin select 1 deal with port 0.16 to port 0.31. Pin select 2, which I have not mentioned here, deals with port 1.16 to port 1.31. So these are the 48 pins which these 3 SFRs deal: pin select 0, pin select 1 and pin select 2. Now how to use the pin select? If we say, let us take for example of pin select 0. Pin select 0 has 32 bits. Pin select 0 to pin select 31. Out of the 32, first 2 bits are dedicated to port 0.0. The next 2 bits are dedicated for port 0.1. The next 2 bits are dedicated for port 0.2. The next 2 bits are dedicated for port 0.3. So on and so forth. Why you require two bits for each port? Because we have 4 functions. 4 functions means what? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So if the first 2 bits are set at 0, 0, port 0.0 will do the default function. If the first 2 bits of pin select 0 are set at 0, 1, then it performs first special function. What is the first special function of port 0.0? You have to go and refer the pin details of that. If you see port 0.0, it is the 19th pin. The first special function of port 0.0 is the transmit data pin, which we are planning to use in this case. The second special function is PWM1. There is no third function because it has only 3 functions. Not all the pins will have 4 functions. In some case it will have 3, in some case it will have 2, in some case it will have 4. If you have 4, you can use 1, 1. So this is how it should be used. Are you able to understand? So the first 2 bits of pin select 0 is used to set the direction of or the functionality of port 0.0. The next 2 bits of pin select 0 is used to set the functionality of port 0.1, so on and so forth. So if you require 2 bits for one pin, totally 32 bits, which is 0 to 31, govern 16 pins of port 0, which is 0.0 to 0.15. Each bit of port 0 takes 2 bits in pin select. Similarly, for pin select 1, the first 2 bits control the functionality of port 0.16. The next 2 bits control the functionality of port 0.17. The next 2 bits control the functionality of port 0.18. So on and so forth. The last 2 bits control the functionality of port 0.31. For pin select 2, the first 2 bits govern port 1.16, etc. up to port 1.31. So that is how these pin select lines are used. So what exactly you have to do? I will put the discussion in a nutshell. Let us take a small example here. I want to use UART0. That is the first thing. Second thing, UART0 has one transmit pin and one receive pin. Okay, that is understood. What is the transmit pin and what is the receive pin? I go to the pin diagram and see what is the transmit pin and what is the receive pin. Transmit 0, that is UART0's transmit pin is pin 19, which is port 0.0. Receive pin is pin 21, which is port 0.1. So this fellow, the transmit pin is port 0.0. The receive pin is port 0.1. So that I found out. That is the second thing. The third thing that I have to do is, you have to use the appropriate pin select SFR. Why appropriate pin select SFR? We have 3 pin select SFRs. What are they? Pin select 0, pin select 1, and pin select 2. Pin select 0 deals with port 0.0 to port 0.15. Pin select 1 deals with port 0.16 to port 0.31. Pin select 2 deals with port 1.16 to port 1.31. So these are the 3 pin select SFRs we are having. So what do you mean by appropriate pin select SFR means? I am planning to use port 0.0 and port 0.1. So which of the 3 pin select SFR I need for setting the functionality of these 2 pins? So since we are dealing port 0.0 and 0.1, then port 0.0 and 0.1 will fall under pin select 0 SFR. So I have to take pin select 0. That is the third thing. Fourth thing, select the appropriate bits. What do you mean by appropriate bits means? The first 2 bits of this is pin select 0 SFR. The first 2 bits of pin select 0 SFR deal with port 0.0. The next 2 bits of pin select 0 SFR deal with port 0.1. Now, what are the 2 values that I have to put here? Because these 2 have 4 possible combinations: 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So what is the value that I should write here? Definitely not 0, 0, because 0, 0 corresponds to the default function, which I am not doing here. I am planning to use transmit and receive pin, which means what is the exact functionality of those 2 pins? You have to refer back to the pin diagram. You see the pin diagram, the default function is port 0.0. I write it here for your understanding. 0.0 is the default function bar. The first special function is transmit data 0, txt 0. Then the next special function is PWM1. There is no third special function. This is the default function. This is the first special function. This is the second special function. Third special function is not there for this particular pin. So this is 0, 0. This is 0, 1. This is 1, 0. 1, 1 doesn't have any meaning as far as this pin is concerned. So what is the value that you should write in the pin select SFR? I have to write this as 0, 1. Why 0, 1? Because we are using first special function. That is something that is decided by the processor. Don't ask me why are you not writing 1, 0, because that is the first default function of that particular pin. So I write 1, 0, 1 here. Similarly, if I take port 0.1, port 0.1 is available in the 21st pin. If we take 21st pin, again, if you see the anatomy of that particular pin, I write it here. Port 0.1 is the default function. The second function, that is first special function, is RxT data, RxT 0. The next special function is PWM3. This fellow has 4 functions. External interrupt 0, EINT 0, external interrupt 0. So this is the default function 0, 0. First special function, if you want, you write it 0, 1. Second function, if you want, 1, 0. If you want to use the same pin as external interrupt 0, you write 1, 1. So since you are dealing receive data, I write again 0, 1 here. So I write a 0, 1 here. This is already a 0, 1. Rest of the pins I am not bothered. So what is the value I should write? Pin select 0 is equal to hexadecimal 0, 5. If I put pin select 0 is equal to hexadecimal 0, 5, what it means? It is 0, 1, 0, 1. So the first 2 bits are set at 0, 1. The next 2 bits are set at 0, 1. Putting pin select 0 is equal to 0, 5 means port 0.0 is configured at first special function, which is transmit data. Port 0.1 is set at again first special function, which is receive data. So have you understood why I put pin select 0 is equal to hexadecimal 0, 5? All of you? Second thing, UART0 line control register, LCR. This is used to set the mode of serial communication. You can imagine this as SCON of 8051. Okay. The first 2 bits of this UART0 line control register defines what is the size of your payload. Size of your payload means in UART communication you have one start bit and then you have the data bits. I can put it this way here. This is the start bit. Then you have the stop bit. Then you have the data bits here. Data bits. So the size of the data bit is represented here. The first 2 bits. If it is 0, 0, then it is 5 bit UART. If it is 0, 1, it is 6 bit UART. If it is 1, 0, it is 7 bit UART. If it is 1, 1, then it is 8 bit UART. So this is what we are using. So for 8 bit UART, I put the first 2 bits as 1, 1. So that is something that you have to understand. And the 7th bit is called DLAB bit. DLAB means divisor latch access bit. DLAB bit means divisor latch access bit. There is a divisor, 16-bit divisor, which will divide your peripheral clock to generate your baud rate clock. So if you want to access that particular divisor, you need to put this value as 1. So this value If it is equal to 1 means you can access the divisor. If it is equal to 0 means you cannot access the divisor. Since we need to access the divisor, why I should access the divisor? Because I am yet to set the baud rate. So I have to make that particular bit as a 1. So 7th bit is a 1. So it is this fellow, DLAB bit. So 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1. So what is the hexadecimal value that we set for UART0 line control register? UART0 line control register is equal to hexadecimal 83. Rest of the zeros, if you want to put, you can use a 32-bit register. If you can't put, you can put, otherwise you simply put 83. What is 83 means? The 7th bit as a 1 because I make DLAB bit 1. What is DLAB bit? DLAB bit is called divisor latch access bit. Divisor latch access bit means it is similar to access a safe zone, you have to write a value of 1 to that. Divisor latch is a safe zone. So I want to access that. So you have to write a value of 1. What is that safe zone? It is a divisor that is used to generate baud rate. We are yet to see that. So if you want to generate baud rate, you have to access that divisor. So for that you have to set a value of 1. So you write a value of 1 and then you come out. The first 2 bits of course will define you the size of the payload, which means what is the size of your UART data, which is 8-bit. For that you need to write 1 1. So UART0 line control register takes 83. So that is my second SFR. The third SFR is the line status register. UART0 line status register, LSR. LSR stands for line status register. This fellow has 2 bits. Status always tells you that what is the information that you are gathering from that SFR. What is the status that you need for UART? The 2 status that I need for UART is whether my transmission is complete or whether I have received any data. This is what I am interested in. In 8051, this is done by transmit interrupt flag, and this is done by receive interrupt flag, RI flag. Okay, so this is for your understanding. So what is the equivalent of transmit interrupt flag in LPC 2148? It is called transmit holding register empty flag. Transmit holding register empty flag. So what is the big name specifies? In 8051 we had only 1 register for both transmit and receive. In LPC 2148 we have 2 separate registers. 1 register for transmission. So for transmission, for TXT, we have a register called UART0 transmit holding register, THR. So what is the job of this transmit holding register? The user puts the data into this register. This register will transmit the data via the transmit pin. Okay, so what is this name signifies? Transmit holding register empty. So I put an 8-bit data into this register. Whenever this register is successfully transmitting all the 8 bits, whenever this particular register becomes empty, then that particular flag will become 1. Okay, this is similar to your transmit interrupt flag. So I put some 8-bit data into the transmit holding register, and the microcontroller is serially transmitting the data 1 bit at a time. The moment this particular register becomes empty, then this particular flag becomes 1. So what is that name tell you? Transmit holding register empty means what? I have already put an 8-bit data which the microcontroller has successfully transmitted. Now the register is empty, so I can put a new data inside it. So that is what it means. So this name signifies a meaningful information to you. So although it is looking big, conceptually it refers to a register becoming empty, which means you can put a new data into it. Clear? So this is similar to a transmit interrupt flag of 8051. So just for your understanding. Second register, this is the 5th bit, bit number 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is the 5th bit, bit number 5. Bit 0 is called receive data ready flag, RDR flag. This is similar to your RI flag. What do you mean by receive data ready? Means we have a register called UART0 receive buffer register, RBR. Receive buffer register, what is the job of this fellow? This fellow will receive data from user. Somebody else is giving me data. This fellow will receive that. When this becomes full, then I get a notification to the user. That is this notification. Receive data ready means what? Somebody else has given you a data which is now available in the UART0 receive buffer register, which you can take and use it. So that is called receive data ready flag. Receive data ready flag is equivalent to your receive interrupt of 8051, which tells you that somebody else has given you a data which you can take it and use it. They are using two separate registers here. Their names are indicating with reference to those SFRs. That is why you are getting a lengthy name. But conceptually, it is similar to the transmit and receive interrupt flags of 8051. Is that clear for you all? So the fourth SFR is your divisor latch SFR. What is this divisor latch SFR means? You are having a peripheral clock that is coming at 60 MHz. This I am dividing by a divisor. I am generating a baud rate clock into 16 times of baud rate. So what is the max behind it? I get a 60 MHz input from peripheral clock. I am putting a divider. This divider is dividing that to 16 times of baud rate. 16 times of baud rate means what? If I require a baud rate of 9600, you need to generate a clock of 9600 into 16 times. Then automatically LPC2148 will give you a baud rate of 9600. So if in general, if you require a baud rate of B, you have to generate a clock of 16 times of that. So I have to divide the 60 MHz by a suitable divider so that my outgoing clock becomes 16 times of baud rate. That is how LPC2148 generates baud rate for you. So what is the value of this divider? D is equal to 60 MHz is the incoming clock. I need to divide that in such a way that I should get 9600 into 16 at the output. So what is the value of this divisor? 60 MHz is 60 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 9600 into 16. What is the value? Take a standard one. 60 MHz. 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 60 MHz divided by 9600. This again divided by 16. 390.6, which can be truncated to 391. So 391 is a 16-bit number. The first 8-bit is DLL, divisor latch USB LSB. Divisor DLL means what? Divisor latch LSB. This is divisor latch MSB, DLM and DLL. So what is the value you got? 391 in decimal. What is the hexadecimal equivalent of this? View programmer. So what is hexadecimal? You take decimal 391. What is the hexadecimal value of that? 187. Hexadecimal 187. So the first two nibbles is your DLL. So UART0 DLL equal to hexadecimal 87. The first two fellows. UART0 divisor latch MSB is equal to hexadecimal 01. So this is what I have to do for getting a baud rate of 9600. Very simple. For accessing this, you have to make your DLAB bit to be equal to 1. See, I'm not sure whether I'm conveying the information to you. That is why I always wanted empty slides. Pay attention here. How to generate baud rate. I have my peak log. I need to divide this fellow. How I have to divide? In such a way, I generate a clock 16 times of baud rate. For example, I require a baud rate of 9600. So what is the clock that I should generate as output? 9600 into 16. That is the clock that I should generate. So what is this divisor value? Divisor value is equal to your peripheral clock is 60 MHz divided by what is the output I want? 9600 into 60. What is the value that you gave? That you got 391. 391. This is the divisor. This divisor has two parts, DLL and DLM. What is DLL means? Divisor latch LSB. What is DLM means? Divisor latch MSB. What is LSB and MSB means? They don't actually refer to the least significant bit and most significant bit. Rather, they refer to the first 8 bits and the top 8 bits of the 16-bit number. So if you convert this to hexadecimal number, it is hexadecimal 0181, 0187, which means DLL equal to hexadecimal 87. This is DLM, which is hexadecimal 01. Just like we load the values of TL0 and TH0 for timer 0. This is a 16-bit number which you have to load this value. Example 2, I require a baud rate of 19,200, let us say. So what is our scheme? I take my peak clock, which is 60 MHz clock, and I divide this by a suitable factor so that I should end up in getting 19,200 into 16. So what is the divisor value? 60 MHz divided by 19,200 into 16. What is the value? $60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 19,200 again divided by 16. 195. 0.3 truncated to. So you convert this into hexadecimal. $195 in decimal is C3 in hexadecimal. So 00 hexadecimal 00 C3. So this is my DLL. This is my DLM. So UART0 divisor latch MSB is equal to hexadecimal 00, UART0 divisor latch LSB is equal to hexadecimal C3. So if I write these two values, I end up in getting a clock of 19,200 and the baud rate will be 19,200 automatically. The important thing that you have to understand here is If you want to write these two values into the SFRs, you need to put the DLAB bit as 1. This is very important. That is what we mean by divisor latch access bit. Divisor latch access bit. So if you want to access these two divisor and if you want to write some value into it, the DLAB bit has to be a 1. That is the reason why we made our DLAB bit as 1 in UART0 line control register. This DLAB bit equal to 1 means you can write some value into DLL and DLM. DLL and DLM. So XX, YY you can write. If you don't put a 1 here, you can no longer write values into it. Okay, so that is the reason why we put DLAB bit is equal to 1. I want to know whether all of you are with me and you are following what is going on here. Clear, all of you? Okay. So this is a sample baud rate calculation. So peak clock is 60 megahertz. So you need to generate baud rate into 16. For 9600 baud rate, it is 60 megahertz divided by 9600 into 16, which is 391 in hexadecimal 0187. So DLL is 87, DLM is 01. In order to write these two values, you should put DLAB equal to 1. This is available in UART0 line control register. The same calculations done for 30 megahertz peak clock. Suppose if you have designed your peak clock for 30 megahertz, the entire calculation will change. This is for our application. In case if you are coming out with a peripheral clock of 30 megahertz, then probably these are the values that you have to worry about. Okay, so this is my important register, SFR register, fourth SFR register. Most important register is receive buffer register. So what is the importance of receive buffer register? Receive buffer register is used to receive data from somebody else and give the data to the user. So via receive pin, the data is received. UART0 receive buffer register will give the data back to you. So what is an indication? What is the flag corresponding to that? That tells you that the receive buffer register is full. What is the name of the flag? The name of the flag is UART0 receive buffer register. When it is full, then receive data ready flag becomes 1. That is the equivalent of RI flag. RDR. Receive data ready flag. Receive data ready flag is the first bit of your line status register. So that is an indication that your UART0 receive buffer register is full. So RDR. RDR flag. RDR flag will become equal to 1 the moment this fellow is complete in receiving 8 bits. This is equivalent to RI flag of 8051. This is for your understanding. So this is my 5th SFR. 6th SFR is transmit holding register, THR. Transmit holding register, UART0 transmit holding register. What is the use of this register? In this case, the user supply the data and this fellow transmit this data 1 bit at a time via the transmit pin serially. So when the microcontroller successfully transmits all the 8 bits, then finally there is a flag called transmit holding register empty flag. That flag is available in the 5th bit. Transmit holding register empty flag, THRE flag, that is in the 5th bit. Okay, so this is equivalent to your transmit interrupt flag of 8051. This is equivalent to the RI flag of 8051. So that flag is used to tell you that the data that you have successfully transmitted is completely transmitted by the microcontroller. So this is the fifth bit of line status register, UART0 line status register. Are you able to understand? So that's all. So once you know this information, you can do all the necessary things. So I want to quickly revise whatever we have discussed so far. Pay attention here. Let us first distinguish 8051 versus LPC2148. One full duplex. Mute yourself, please. You have one full duplex UART. You have two full duplex UARTs. That is the primary difference. Second difference is 8051 automatically configures the pin for UART and GPIO. Whereas the user has to do explicitly. The user has to tell the microcontroller explicitly what exact purpose that is using for a particular pin. Every pin in LPC2148 has a maximum of 4 maximum functions. GPIO is the default function. If you are planning to use a pin for default function, you need not have to say anything. But if you are planning to use that for some other function, then you have to tell the microcontroller. How do I tell the microcontroller? I use the pin select SFR. So that is my first discussion, pin select SFR. There are 3 pin select SFRs. Pin select 0, pin select 1, and pin select 2. Pin select 0 deals with port 0.0 to port 0.15 pins. Pin select 1 port 0.16 to port 0.31. Pin select 2 port 1.16 to port 1.31. So what is the important rule? Each pin select SFR control 16 pins. Each pin require 2 bits. So 2 into 16 will require 32 bits. So you have 32 bits in each pin select SFR. For example, you take pin select 0. Pin select 0 has 32 bits. Okay, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay, so I'll just zoom this 8 alone and put it separately for your understanding. So this is bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3, bit 4, bit 5, bit 6 and bit 7. The first 2 bits control port 0.0. The next 2 bits control port 0.1. The next 2 bits control port 0.2. The next 2 bits control port 0.3. So on and so forth. The last 2 bits control port 0.15. So totally pin select 0 control 16 pins. Similarly, pin select 1 control 16 pins, pin select 2 control 16 pins. What I mean by controlling, if you are planning to use port 0.0 as a normal GPIO, you need not have to use pin select. That is not required. If you are planning to use port pin 0.0 pin for a different function, then you have to control, write a value of this. For example, in our case, P 0.0, 00 is the default function. If you write 01 here, then you are planning to use the first special function of port 0.0, which is the transmit pin. If you put 10, the same pin will do the second default function, so on and so forth. Similarly, for 0.1, we again put 01. Why I put 01? Because I am planning to use the first special function of port 0.1. 00 is the default function. 01 is the received data of port 0.1. So I put 01. So 01 is the value that I have to put for pin select. So I am giving you a homework here, all of you. Every time I am it will be very difficult for me to select the pin. So all of you take this homework and fill this up. Write a general purpose function void pin select. Okay, so it has to take 2 parameters. First parameter is pin number. The second parameter is this special function. So the pin number should have values of 0 to 31 for port 0. 100 to 131 for port 1. So accordingly, you deal this internally. Special function can have 3 values: 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0 means default function. 1 means first special function. 2 means second special function. 3 means third special function. So if you write and keep a special function like this, then probably it will be very easy for us to directly set a specific special function of your choice. For example, had you written this function, how I would have written the same function for our problem now? I would have called that function as pin select. Don't confuse this pin select with the same pin select name that we are using. Or you can use a different name or pin function or something like this. Let us use pin function. Or use the name as set pin function. Something similar to that. So I call set pin function. Which pin number? 0th pin. Which special function? First special function. If I call, automatically port 0.0 becomes the transmit pin. I would have called the same pin again, same function again, and I would have called this with the first pin, which is port 0.1, again first special function. This would have configured port 0.1 as RxT data pin. So like this, this will be very easy for me to define or set the functionality of a pin instead of dealing this pin select as for every time. It becomes a headache for me. So you write this general purpose function and keep it right so that we can use that in the next class. So second is the pin select. Third one is line control register, LCR. So UART0 line control register. UART0 line control register essentially is this a 32-bit SFR, but we are using the first 8 bits. That is what is more important for us. The first 2 bits defines the payload size 00, 01, 10, and 11. One is for 8-bit UART, this is for 7-bit UART, this is for 6-bit UART, and this is for 5-bit UART. So we put 1 here. The last bit is very important. This is called DLAB bit. This has to be 1 in order to write values into divisor latch LSB and divisor latch MSB. If you want to write values into these two SFRs, it is necessary that you have to put this value as 1. So UART0 line control register is equal to hexadecimal 83. So that is the second thing, right? Line control register. Third thing is line status register, SR, UART0 line status register. UART0 line status register will give you two important status flags. What are the two important status flags? First one is transmit holding register empty flag, receive data ready flag. This is used for transmission. This is used for reception. So this is again in a 32-bit SFR, but the bits that is of interest for us is available in the very lower part. Okay, so the 0th flag is your receive data ready flag. If this is a 1, that means the microcontroller has successfully received the data, received 8-bit data. If this is 0, that means it has not received. This is equivalent to your RI flag of 8051. So this is my 0th bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bit is called transmit holding register empty flag. Transmit holding register empty flag is equivalent to TI flag of 8051. What is the job of this fellow? If this fellow is equal to 1, that means whatever the data that you have put into transmit holding register has been successfully transmitted. If it is equal to a 0, that means the microcontroller is busy in transmitting. If the microcontroller is busy in transmitting, or if it is not transmitting at all, then you will have a 0 value there. If the transmitter has successfully transmitted, then it will have a value of 1. So these are the two status registers, status flags. One transmit holding register empty flag, 5th bit, and then the receive data ready flag, that is the 0th bit. These are the two status registers. 4th one comes the baud rate generation. How do I generate baud rate? I take the P clock, I divide that by a suitable factor, so that I end up in getting my required baud rate into 16. So if I want 9600, I should generate a clock of 9600 times of 16. If my peripheral clock that I generate is 60 MHz, this is called divisor. So the value of divisor equal to 60 MHz divided by what I want is 9600 into 16. So this will give me XXYY in hexadecimal. Therefore, UART0 divisor latch LSB equal to hexadecimal YY. UART0 divisor latch MSB is equal to hexadecimal XX. In order to write these two values into DLL and DLM, it is necessary that your DLAB bit equal to 1, should be equal to 1. Where will you set this bit? UART0 line control register. If this bit is a 0, if DLAB bit is equal to 0, you can no longer write any value here. So that is a important thing. Last but not the least, the all important two registers used for transmission and reception. For transmission, we have a register called UART0 transmit holding register. The job of the user is to put the 8-bit data here, and this fellow will serially transmit it via transmit pin. How do I know that whether the microcontroller has successfully transmitted the data? I know that by using a flag. What is the name of the flag? Transmit holding register empty flag. If that is a 1, then I know that the microcontroller has successfully transmitted. And for reception, I have UART0 receive buffer register. In this case, the microcontroller will receive the data and supply the data to the user. How do I know that the microcontroller has successfully received the data? There is a flag. Receive data ready flag. If this is a 1, then I know that somebody else has given me a data which I will fetch and use it. So transmit holding register flag is equivalent to the transmit interrupt flag of 8051. This is something similar to the receive data flag of 8051. So now how do I initialize LPC 2148? How do I initialize? Pin select 0 equal to hexadecimal 05. I make port 0.0 and 0.1, both of them as first special function registers. Then UART0 line control register is equal to hexadecimal 83. Why 83? I make DLAB as 1. Then I put 8-bit UART. That is the second thing. Third thing, what I do? I have to set the baud rate. How do I set the baud rate? I make the value of UART0 divisor latch LSB, UART0 divisor latch MSB with the suitable values. Hexadecimal AA, hexadecimal BB for 9600 baud rate. Are you able to understand? Once you set this value, the most important thing is you have to clear the DLAB bit to 0. DLAB bit is needed only for writing the values for the devices. Once you are done with the values, you have to clear the DLAB bit as 0. Why you have to clear the DLAB bit as 0? Otherwise, you cannot access the the two registers receive UART0 transmit holding register and UART0 receive buffer register. The two important registers that will be used for transmitting and the other one for reception, you will not be able to access with DLAB bit equal to 1. So we have to clear that DLAB bit so that we use those two registers for actual transmission and reception. So I again put UART0 line control register is equal to hexadecimal. I put this 8-bit, I retain this 8-bit UART, but DLAB bit alone I make it 0. In that case, it becomes 03. So I put DLAB bit alone equal to 0. So this is what we do for initializing the UART. Pin select 0. I make the first two pins as transmit and receive. UART line control register. I set 8-bit UART with DLAB equal to 1. Generate the baud rate, and I clear the DLAB bit so that I access the two important registers for transmit and receive. How to transmit? How to transmit? Whatever the data that you wanted to put, simply put into UART0 transmit holding register equal to my data. Whatever the data that you wanted to put it into UART0 transmit holding register. And wait until the transmit holding register has completely transmitted the data. How do I know that? I take UART0 line status register and I perform bitwise AND of hexadecimal 01 left shifted by 5 times. Why 5 times? This is the flag. What flag? Transmit holding register empty flag. That is available in the 5th pin. So if I take 01, left shift this by 5 times and I perform bitwise AND of this and check whether if this is equal to 0, that means the microcontroller is busy in transmitting. So I keep waiting there. If that is done, then I will complete it. So if I pack it in the form of a function, that is called a send UART function. Send UART. What is the parameter it takes? Unsigned character my data. This my data I pass. This I pack it in the form of void init UART. Last but not the least comes the receive data. In this case, it returns a value. Unsigned character receive UART. It doesn't take any parameter. In that case, how do I write the function? First, we have to wait for the receive data ready flag is a1. While UART0 line status register bitwise AND of hexadecimal 01 left shifted by 0 times. Because we are checking the 0th bit. 0th bit is the receive data ready flag. So if this results in a 0, okay, so I keep waiting here. The moment this condition fails, what does it mean? The receive data ready flag is equal to a 1. In that case, somebody has given me a data, I read it. From where will I read? UART0 receive buffer register, RBR. Receive buffer register is the place where the microcontroller receives data, which I assign to my data and return this fellow to the user. Declare what is this? So conceptually, it is very similar to 8051 programming. The only difference is in 8051 we will manually clear the RI flag. RI flag equal to 0 we will put. In this case, we don't do that because the moment you read the value of UART0 receive buffer register with a temporary variable, the microcontroller automatically clears this to 0. So when you perform a read operation from the register, the microcontroller automatically clears that for you. You need not have to wait for that fellow or manually clear that fellow. So that is not required. So that job is taken away from. So it is conceptually very much similar to your 8051 microcontroller. The way in which we transmit, the way in which we receive, everything is exactly the same. The only difference is the name of the SFRs are slightly different, and the way in which we generate the baud rate is slightly different. Okay. So